Greetings, Victorians, and welcome to Update 1.13. This free update will be releasing alongside the Great Wave DLC. Update 1.13 aims to improve and change the game in a number of ways by making navies more important for projecting global power, turning individual ships into proper pieces of military equipment, improving naval combat, improving diplomatic interests, making generals and admirals more meaningful and noticeable actors on the world stage, and to make sure that supplies are an important and meaningful part of our military system that can win or lose you a war. Let's start with the Navy. Ships are now individual entities instead of just containers that hold manpower. Naval administrations, which supply the crews for ships, can now be built inland as well. After all, you do not need to see the water to be able to work on a ship. There are new naval 3D models that will appear on the map and in combat. Shipyards have been re-merged back into a single entity. There are no more individual military or civilian shipyards. They will use goods, like steel and engines, to create those ship construction points, and ships will require maintenance, which comes from that ship construction point pool. We have also increased the variety of ships up to around 20. We have everything from big gun super dreadnoughts down to light cruisers, protected cruisers, armored cruisers, and even torpedo boats. Do keep in mind, ships are a significant investment in both time and resources. Building your beautiful new ships is not the only new thing in the game. You can also fight with them differently. Here we can see a new naval battle, where Old Ironsides is still given the old what for to her former colonial overlords. Supplies are now a critically important layer to the military aspect of the game. Supply ships now exist and symbolize the continuous transportation of goods to where they are needed by a fleet or an army. You can take a look at your supply ship construction by going to the new Ships Construction tab. Here we can dictate how many of our ship construction points are devoted to either military or supply ships, and at the bottom we have both queues, the military queue and the supply queue. And here we can see the breakdown of where all of our supplies are heading. Logistics centers now exist both for land and naval formations. They are the home destination for the supply path to the formations. All ships now have their own statistics, which can be found in their stat blocks here. All these stats will dictate how well they perform at their given tasks. You will also notice that naval missions have been updated, and we have some new options to choose from. Project Power is an extremely important new mission. It will allow you to send your navy to project power into other areas. That brings us neatly to the diplomatic interest changes. You no longer simply declare you are interested in a region. We have a tiered system. Engaging in various endeavors such as signing peace treaties with locals, having a subject in a region, sending your fleet to project power, or simply outright conquest in the region will increase your level of involvement. Each tier will allow you to engage in higher levels of diplomatic actions in that region. Armies will now need to be transported across bodies of water using your military ships. It is important to keep in mind that while transporting units, a fleet may not engage in other missions like an interception or raiding. They can only move to the target location. All ships will have different capabilities for how many troops they can transport, but there are dedicated troop transport ships, but they have very low combat capabilities, so they are vulnerable. Marines are a new type of land unit added to the game, and unlike other land units, they can be permanently stationed with a fleet. Marines have a separate transport capacity, different from regular army units. Unlike regular army units, the Marines do not prevent the fleet from engaging in other missions, so they can stay with your fleet as it engages in combat. Straits have been added to a number of key locations across the map. What's important about this is that access to the strait can be controlled by the nation that owns either side. Naval fortifications can be constructed to unlock additional control options. In addition, tolls can be collected from the trade that passes through a strait. It can be very beneficial to deny access to a strait to an enemy and force their trade to go the long way around, greatly impacting the profitability of their trade routes. We now have a visualization of the character pool, which we call the National Cast. This is where all your characters go to hang out and play 51-card solitaire while they await a job for you to assign to them. You may also notice a tab you've not seen before. That's Prominence. Prominence represents how deeply entrenched a character is in the political machine. a highly prominent character is more likely to be chosen to be the leader of an interest group. And here you can see that there is a character role called magnates. Magnates are wealthy landowners and businessmen who have decided that they are going to use their wealth to influence the political machine. And while we're talking about characters, children are no longer born being politically indoctrinated. Historical or scripted characters will have the same characteristics, they'll just be applied when they become 16 years old. Otherwise, new characters will gain an ideology when they reach 16, dependent on the political situation in the country. Moving on to land formations, your armies will now only be able to have a single commander assigned to them instead of 4. But these commanders are no longer permanently married to those military formations. They can move about. We've also commandeered all commander teleporter systems. They will no longer be able to transport themselves instantaneously across the world. If you assign a commander a posting half a world away, it will take him a long time to catch a ship and reach his destination. A commander's rank is now more important than the size of his assignment. A field marshal is still a field marshal, which is a highly influential job, even if he's riding a desk. Additionally, there is now a penalty for unnecessary promotions, which is a promotion done when the collective command limit of your commanders is already more than enough to meet the needs of the army, plus a few benchwarmers to be ready in case of sudden death. Such promotions would usually be carried out for purely political reasons. Unnecessary promotions will always anger other relevant interest groups. Additionally, when a formation starts being below its command limit, its organization won't start reducing for 30 days. That will give you time to assign a new commander. The base game now has new Japanese assets available to all from the Japanese Uniform Pack. There have been a number of map changes that include Japan. Mike has rearranged Australia with some inspiration from the Anno 1886 mod. There's also been a change to resource distribution in Japan. You will see new narrative content in the Honorable Restoration and Meiji Reformation journal entries. Additionally, there has been some changes in the laws. Under governance principles, you now have access to social monarchy, and there's an entire new Navy model law category. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. You can find full patch notes for update 1.13 linked in the description below. We hope you enjoy.